Spring has sprung. Of course. Yes? Beautiful. Gotta cool off. Spring has sprung. All right. Best wishes. Let's go. Very well. Time for a swim? Yes. Yes. Well. Beautiful. Best wishes. Gotta cool off. Of course. Spring has sprung. Very well. Let's go. Yes. All right. Time for a swim? Beautiful. Yes. Best wishes. Let's go.
Hey everyone, GuardianE here with another Camilla Emblem clear video in Fire Emblem Heroes, and today we'll be taking on the Blazing Lion Roy in his very own legendary hero battle on Abyssal difficulty. Now I apologize in advance, I am coming down with something, I am a little sick, so if I sound weird, or if there are weird cuts in the video, I do apologize for that, because I'm pretty under the weather right now. So Roy finally has his very own legendary hero version in the game, and it is quite stacked. He comes with distant counter, comes with effective against dragons on his weapon, and with him comes a brand new A slot unique to him currently that makes him an absolute stat monster, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. As far as the map is concerned, it's actually very interesting. Lots of different terrain types. You got trenches back here and an impassable wall, some mountainous areas, forested areas, and then a little kind of ravine off to the side. So it's really got representation of all different kinds of terrain, and generally that means that it would be favorable to flyers. You're outside, out in the open, able to freely reposition and move across the terrain, and that holds true as well. Despite this, the map is actually still pretty challenging because you are getting an onslaught of reinforcements every turn. Reinforcement after reinforcement, all around, not just on the opposite side of the ravine, but also behind you as well. That'll appear off to the side. And it's really just a deluge, an onslaught of reinforcements coming from every which way. Huge threats, huge stat lines, overlapping damage ranges, mixed mobility types, and coming from, plenty of flyers so they can traverse over the terrain itself. So it's really just threats from all sides and hyper aggressive. So it's very easy to just get overrun, and because of that, I would say that this probably is one of the more difficult legendary hero battles we've had recently, just again by that sheer volume and variety. But that said, absolutely the terrain can work to your advantage. As you've probably guessed, you can use this ravine to your advantage in a big way, because you can take pot shots and tank ranged units on this side. And of course, all of the grounded and land units have to kind of funnel their way through this tiny part off to the side here, which you can definitely and absolutely use to your advantage. And that's going to be at least partially the strategy, maneuvering to the left-hand side, tanking and taking out the ranged and flying threats over the river, and then kind of taking home base down here where the forest and the mountains are, while the enemy kind of funnels off to the side. So let's take a quick look at the enemy forces. Roy himself with his A slot, like we had talked about, bonus doubler 3. Any activated buffs on him essentially get doubled. So any activated hone, rally, tactic, wave skill, all of those that are on him that give visible buffs to his stats will essentially get doubled. And at a baseline, his stats are pretty ridiculous as is. 60 attack, 50 speed, 42 defense, 35 res. Definitely nothing to scoff at. And of course, Roy comes with his own unique C slot, Human Virtue, which essentially gives him and any adjacent allies that are non-beast units attack speed +6 as an activated buff, which for him, since he has doubler, essentially means +12. Further, this Sword Cavalier over here has even speed wave 3, and Roy himself has even defense wave 3, meaning that basically he's going to get +6 to all of his stats, which means in reality he's going to get +12 to all of his stats, which is obviously absolutely ridiculous. Now, one of the critical counters to activated buffs, of course, are panic ploys. Of course, panic ploys rely on HP thresholds in order to activate, and you're not going to have too many units that meet the threshold of 79 HP, or over 79 HP, I should say, in order to properly panic ploy Roy. So, as long as he is situated in this way and in this fashion, he is going to be able to get those activated buffs, and he's going to be an absolute monster as he comes and approaches. And speaking of activated buffs, we have this blue mage, this Blarblade blue mage off to the side here. He's going to swoop in down by the mountain and the trees, and he's going to connect next to Roy on turn 1 or 2. And his Blarblade is going to come into full effect as well. He's going to get the effects of the wave skills as well as Roy's Human Virtue, so he's going to be fully prepped, fully buffed for his Blarblade damage. Next we have this surprisingly tanky green bow user, lots of HP, 82 HP, also comes with Warding Blow 3, which makes him kind of a nuisance to attack from a range. There's this Lance Knight over here that surprisingly doesn't have 99 HP, don't know why, but he comes with a Slaying Spear Plus with that's armor effective, neutralizes, fortifies, and rallies, and he comes with Bold Fighter 3 and Panic Ploy. So having the 97 HP threshold means that he's most likely going to be able to panic deploy if he gets in the cardinal directions of your unit, so just be wary of that. And of course he has Astra paired with Bold Fighter, which means that on his second initiation on you, he's going to be able to activate Astra. And back here we have this Lance Cavalier in the rear with Rider's Bane, Glimmer, Deathblow, and Dragback, really with the intent of using his increased mobility to stab at your units that are trying to bait, drag them back into the range of the ranged units on the other side of the river. So that's the enemy layout at the start. Obviously there are tons and tons of reinforcements with tons and tons of units to look out for. We'll try to make note of those as we're going through this, this commentary run. But now let's take a look at the Camilla Emblem that we've chosen to tackle this challenge. So first up we have Vanilla Camilla merged at +10. She is plus speed. She's the only merged Camilla on this team, at least for the time being. That is soon to change, as some of you might know out there. She's equipped with Camilla's Axe, Reposition, Miracle for the special, Distant Counter, Renewal 3, Hone Flyers, and Iote Shield for the seal. The circumstances of the map and the Green Archer really lend themselves to having the Iote Shield on Camilla and having her tank the archers rather than Spring Camilla. And Miracle is important so that in that opening gambit she's able to tank all of the hits necessary. Next up we have Spring Princess Camilla, plus speed minus res. She has her Gronraven Triangle Adept build, Reposition, Blazing Flame for the special, so we have an AoE special on her. That's going to become critical a little bit later in making some clutch kills and also weakening certain units, namely Roy, as they're making their approach. Goad Flyers, Distant Defense 3 for the seal. And for the B slot, we have Blue Tonebreaker. A little unusual, a little unorthodox, but it comes in clutch when tanking and preventing a double and doubling back on a blue mage throughout the course of the map. Obviously, as you can see, Spring Camilla is the summoner supported unit on the team. Next, we have Holiday Traveler Camilla, plus speed minus res. She has her Slaying Edge, Gale Force Heavy Blade build, Deathblow for the A slot, Desperation for the B slot, Goad Flyers for the C slot, and Reposition for the assist. Relatively untouched, didn't have to change anything for Camilla. She plays her role basically as the Gale Force unit on the team. And finally, we have Tropical Beauty Camilla, plus attack minus res, has a Blarblade Desperation build, Deathblow for the A slot, Deathblow instead of Fury, to secure a couple of really close kills where she needed a couple of points of damage, Reposition for the assist, Blazing Thunder for the special, so again, an AoE special that's going to come into clutch, really important. Goad Flyers for the C slot, and Flyer Formation for the seal. That is going to come in clutch a number of times where we need some additional mobility on the team. Alright, so now let's get started. The enemy is going to move on turn 1 whether you bait them or not. So they are going to come at you and come at you hard. And you want to be ready for them. You want to be able to position yourself, take advantage of your first movement to be able to tank, weaken, and kill as many of the enemies that are incoming as you possibly can. So the best entry point for that, for my team, is actually right here. Right here in this spot is where you can tank both the Lance Cavalier and the Green Bow user. Another entry point is actually up here when you're in the range of the Blue Mage, and that's a great place to actually either take out the Blue Mage or the Green Bow user. The issue with being up here, you can handily tank them out. The only issue is that you've kind of overextended. You're way past the enemy front lines. Reinforcements are going to appear, and it's going to be a lot more difficult, or it's going to be a lot easier for you to get overrun. So you just want to plan very carefully if you're going to take that route. I decided to go on this route, like I said, and it works for our purposes. So We're going to be using Vanilla Camilla to tank. So we're going to be placing her right in position where she's in the range of the Green Bow user and the Lance Cavalier. We're going to use New Year's Camilla right behind her so that she gets the Hone Flyers buff for next turn. That's going to be important because we need her to be able to outspeed and activate Gale Force next turn. We'll use Reposition on Summer Camilla, and Summer Camilla is going to use Flyer Formation to plant herself next to Vanilla Camilla. That's actually pretty important because they're Summoner supported, or Ally supported I should say, and that's actually going to come in handy because that's going to make sure that Camilla survives with more than 1 HP so that she can activate Miracle on the following turn. So we'll place Summer Camilla down here. Vanilla Camilla is going to tank that Green Bow user and that Lance Cavalier on this turn. She's not going to kill the Bow user, but she will significantly weaken him. She'll take out the Lance Cavalier on enemy phase. And now she has Miracle ready to go for whenever she needs to tank a hit, which she will in the future. So at this point we want to be incredibly careful with our movements and very deliberate. We want to take out as much of the enemy team that's incoming as we can while also positioning ourselves for safety for the following turn. The biggest threat on the enemy team is actually this green bow user and these two sword users. So we want to make absolutely certain that we're able to take out those units on this turn. The green cavalier is far enough away where we can kind of maneuver ourselves out of the range of this green cavalier. However, this blue mage is a huge threat. The blue mage has Blarblade, obviously, and he's sitting next to Roy, who has Human Virtue and even Defense Wave 3. Both of them are going to activate on the blue mage, give her huge buffs to her Blarblade. So we want to make sure that however we maneuver, we're able to tank this blue mage on the following turn. So we start very deliberately using Spring Camilla to tank the green bow user, or to take out the green bow user. So now the green bow user is down, and Spring Camilla is actually in the range of the blue mage, and that's fine. She has Triangle Adept, she has Distant Defense, and she has Blue Tonebreaker, all with the intent of tanking and being able to survive the blue mage hit with all of those Blarblade buffs. Next, we want to let New Year's Camilla kind of run amok here. She has the Hone Flyer's buff, and we just want to reposition her over here so that she's able to attack the Sword Flyer, take out the Sword Flyer, double her, and activate Gale Force in the process. She's also now in Desperation range, which is very nice, and now she has an additional move to be able to go down here and take out the Axed Cavalier as well. We wanted to do that next because she actually absolutely needs the Goad Flyer's buff from Summer Camilla right here. If she didn't have that Goad Flyer's buff, she would not have been able to take out the Green Cavalier. So Summer Camilla can now move, just shift right up here and take out the Sword Cavalier, double and kill on player phase. So now the only two units that are in the range, only two Camillas that are in the range of the Blue Mage, are Vanilla Camilla and Spring Camilla. We had Miracle ready just for this occasion, and so Vanilla Camilla can tank that on enemy phase and survive, gets the renewal for the following turn, so now she's at 11 HP. So at this point the hard part is over. Most of the flyers are done with, and we have this river that kind of separates us and the enemy, which means we can kind of bait them and force them to funnel down on the right hand side with certain exception. So we just want to position ourselves in the best way possible so we're getting all of the buffs that we need. So this red Manakete appeared behind us, kind of problematic. An enemy phase unit has Moonbow, Fierce Stance, and Quick Riposte, so clearly equipped to enemy phase us. Thankfully we have a ranged blue in the form of Summer Camilla, and she's got that Blarblade at the ready with those Hone Flyer buffs. So we're going to use her just to double and eliminate the red Manakete. Now at this point the biggest threats on the enemy team are the ranged units, so the Blue Mage, the Green Cavalier, and the Bow Fighter. And thankfully Spring Camilla can tank all of them. So what we're going to do, we're just going to maneuver ourselves back.
Best wishes. So
that everybody will be getting Spring Camilla the Goad Flyer's buffs that she needs, and she's going to just eliminate that Blue Mage on player phase. Now she's still in the range of the Green Cavalier and the Bow Fighter, but she can tank both of them without any issue. And in the process, she is going to charge up her special, her AoE special, which is going to come in handy right here. It's going to be perfect because she's going to be able to activate Blazing Flame and take out the Lance Knight on this turn. It's also critical because when she activates Blazing Flame, she's going to hit Roy for a nice healthy chunk of 19 damage, which is important for the following turn where we're going to be able to use Summer Camilla. It's important to note that Roy actually has Renewal on him, so if you're intending to chip him down and then kill him, just be careful about that, because you want to make sure you're counting right so he doesn't heal back the damage that you did.
Yes.
So at this point we want to reposition Spring Camilla, and in the process that actually allows Summer Camilla to use Flyer Formation to maneuver out in the corner here and take out the Blue Flyer on player phase. That also charges up her AoE special for next turn, which is exactly what we need. And then we're just going to wait with Vanilla Camilla since everybody is safe and let the enemy funnel in on the right-hand side. So now the enemy is nice and lined up vertically, Roy is sufficiently chipped, and now we can engage Roy directly. Now obviously Summer Camilla has free reign of movement here with Flyer Formation. That's the power of that seal, of that skill on a Flyer team. But we don't want to land Summer Camilla in a place that, for one thing, puts her in danger, and two, blocks off the rest of the Camillas from engaging the enemy, because we really need to thin the ranks as they're approaching. It's not just Roy that's the threat. This Cavalier is a huge threat, as well as this Bow Fighter, so we want to make sure that we're taking and engaging as many of them as we can. So actually, from a perspective of positioning, the best place for Summer Camilla to engage Roy is actually over here. Problem is that Roy actually survives with 1 HP. So we certainly don't want that, and how we get around that is we actually reposition New Year's Camilla off to the right-hand side so that she provides all of the buffs that Summer Camilla needs, and also allows New Year's Camilla to get into position so she can engage the Cavalier and the Archer on the following turn. So we use Flyer Formation to swoop into position, activate the AoE special, and take out Roy on this turn, chip away at the rest of the enemies as well in the process. Okay, beautiful. So now we use New Year's Camilla to engage the Green Cavalier. She already has Gale Force ready at a cooldown of 0, so she's going to activate that Gale Force, and now she can maneuver to safety. She just has to swoop over on the left-hand side, and Vanilla Camilla is waiting for her to reposition her away from the enemy units. Okay, they're going to continue to approach here. I do just want to note that this Lance Dragon has a really interesting build because she has Harmonic Lance, she has Attack Defense solo so that she's really tanky when she's by herself, hit and run, and then double Savage Blow to whittle down your team. So on this turn, New Year's Camilla has the Hone Flyers buff, which is actually really critical. It allows her to activate Gale Force and double on this turn, and we're going to just finish off the enemy units by selectively choosing our targets. So first, we want to use Spring Camilla to take out the Bow Fighter on player phase. Easy peasy. Next up, we want to take out the Lance Dragon with Summer Camilla. So we're going to double and take out the Lance Dragon here.
Alright.
So now we're going to reposition New Year's Camilla so that she can access the Axe Fighter. She's going to engage, activate Gale Force in the process. Desperation is active.
Let's go.
And at this point, she can finish things off by taking out the Red Mage on player phase. And there you have it. So that is my Camilla Emblem clear for the Legendary Hero Battle Blazing Lion Roy on Abyssal difficulty. Let me know in the comments below what strategies and teams you ended up utilizing to clear this Legendary Hero Battle challenge on Abyssal. Hopefully you enjoyed, and if you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. Thank you so much for watching. We really, really do appreciate it. And until next time, let's protect those skies.